from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's here to keep you dreaming or enable your dreaming. Or if you don't want to dream, that's fine too. However you choose to rest. This podcast for dreamers and non-dreamers alike. If there's one thing we can agree on, it's to be agreeable. How come no one has that saying? That sounds like a wise saying. If there's one thing we can agree on, it's being agreeable. The only thing is there's part of my brain that's already objecting to that. It's like defining agreeable is not because also that means sounds like you're being agreeable, sounds like you're being accommodating. And I'd say, no, it's just being agreeable. I agree with you. There is nuance to the state of agreeability. And I think we could agree on that. And that was a meta example of me trying to be agreeable. But really, I'm trying to be agreeable. And that's one of the things about this podcast, the attempt to be agreeable, to keep you company and take your mind off stuff. If you're new, welcome to Sleep With Me, by the way. This is a podcast to keep you company, take your mind off of stuff while you fall asleep, maybe to distract you and put you to sleep. I'm really glad you're here, and we got coming up as support, then a long meandering intro to ease you into bedtime, and then a Dreaming of Newhart episode. So I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard on the show, so do a team of people, and it's made possible by listeners just like you that support the show directly, support our sponsors, and spread the word about the show. Or that just listen silently and have an agreeable place in their heart for the podcast and other listeners. And that's a great way. I'm not even kidding. If you have an agreeable place in your heart for someone else listening right now, that's powerful. And I would have never thought it before I started making the show, but you've all taught me that. So thanks. And here's a couple ways we're able to do this for you. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots. I'm winding down another year of Sleep With Me. Holy moly. And, I'm thinking about everything I'm thankful for, all the kindness in the toughest year of my life. So I'm grateful to be closing out this year. And my goal for 2025 is to keep making this podcast that puts you to sleep. My goal is to make it in 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, and beyond. The show that puts you to sleep. If it doesn't put you to sleep, this is your first time listening. You don't even need to listen anymore. But think about your year with Sleep With Me. Are you grateful for the year you had with Sleep With Me? Did it put you to sleep or keep you company, take your mind off of stuff? Did it make your life a little bit better? And on a scale of 1 to 10... how much did it make your life better? How grateful for you are? Like if 10 is a few of your favorite things, like your family, your pets, and 1 is the broom you use to sweep your garage, or the gravy I have in my cabinet. Maybe you have it I have one from 3 or 4 years ago, old gravy. You say, well, I still have it. I got to be grateful for it. That's the one, old gravy. That's not totally expired. Where does Sleep With Me fall, right? If that jar of old gravy is $5, right? Is Sleep With Me worth more? Are you more grateful for Sleep With Me than old gravy? Because I like saying old gravy. Because if it is more valuable to you than old gravy, and you bought that old gravy for $5, I'd be grateful if you support the show back so I can meet that goal of putting you to sleep next year. And you'd be giving back to the podcast that puts you to sleep. You say, yeah, you're better than great. Not better than all gravy, Scoots. I got a couple of gravies that are 6 or 7s situationally. But in non-situational gravy situations, I'm pretty grateful for Sleep With Me. Great gravy. That's good news. Because here's your chance to give back and support the show. But Sleep With Me Plus is the gravy on the podcast. It's the best way to listen to Sleep With Me. So you're going to be graving up your bedtime podcasting anyway, because it comes with ad-free episodes, story-only episodes, bonus episodes, subscriber summer, subscriber winter. So you'll be saying good gravy. You'll be saying, you know what? Once you get Sleep With Me Plus set up, you'll be saying great gravy. But here's what I want you to do. What I actually need you to do is do it right now. Say great gravy. Say, say it again. Say great gravy. I'm grateful for great gravy. And go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Now say, I'm grateful for great gravy. I'm as grateful for Sleep With Me as I am for, not as, like, you know what I mean? Just say something, great gravy, just say that. And then sign up, pick your tier, pick whether you want to do an annually or monthly. You can even sign up and try it out first and just cancel within 7 days. But then say, great gravy, I'm doing a great thing because I'm helping you hit your great gravy goal for 2025. Of making the podcast that puts you to sleep. But you're also helping out everybody else that's not in a position to support the show, because there's still, you can still say great gravy and send kindness. But when you support the show, you're supporting for all those people that are saying great gravy. Support the show for me too. And that's important as well. And it's something you can feel really good about. And I'm grateful for it. I'm more grateful for your goodness than any gravy in the world. There's nothing I'd rather do in the world that make the podcast that puts you to sleep next year. So thanks for supporting it. All you do right now, go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, sign up. You could set up the bonus content tomorrow. And you can get back to going to sleep now, knowing you've done your part, and we'll hit that goal together. Great gravy, 2025. We're coming. Thanks. Oh, Mr. Bart, a lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound on the website. I am the mystery bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bart. Hey, this is Scoots with breaking news. If you get sleep phones, send me a message through the contact form on our website with your receipt, or let me know what Sleep With Me model you got, and I'll give you a free trial of Sleep With Me Plus. And if you get, like, depending on which version you get, it'll be 3, 6, or 12 months, depending on which model of sleep phones you got, but only if you use our link, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep phones. You'll save $5 on sleep phones, and you'll get a trial of Sleep With Me Plus, an extended trial of Sleep With Me Plus. So if you sign up, you buy sleep phones, the best way to listen to Sleep With Me over the holiday season. Make sure to send me a message through the contact form on our website. Thanks. And what do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. It could be thoughts on your mind, thoughts about the past, the present, the future, things you're thinking about. It could be feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally related to those thoughts or feelings that are just there. It could be physical sensations. It could be changes in time, temperature, routine, work schedule. Maybe you work a different shift or multiple shifts, or a shift that gets in the way of your regular sleep. You could be traveling, you could have guests, you could be anticipating something, or you could be going through something long-term or long-term. even though it's not a word, long-term. What is that? It's like I'm a long-term listener of Mel Torme. I call myself a long-tormer. Okay, I don't understand. Been listening to Mel Torme my whole life. I'm long-tormer. Why don't you? I think the first part was good enough. You listen to Mel Torme your whole life, right? I'm a long-tormer. I don't know if is that something you're trying to get going, like a Swifties. So there's Tormers, and you're a long. This sounds more like a fan of Tormen. From no, those are Tormers. That's an R. Tormer. It's different. You've made my, yeah, you're right. You're right. It is different. Tormen, Torme, Tormer, Tormer. It's almost a silent R? Yeah. Okay, so, well, yeah, is it okay if I move on? I feel like I could spend hours talking to you about your long-term fandom or your long-term listener of Mel Torme. You didn't say you were a fan. I implied I was a fan because I created a nickname for ourselves. I'm going to have to listen to some Mel Torme later so I can understand you better. So thanks so much for coming by the podcast. And I appreciate you giving me a small meander to go on. It was really nice of you. Are you still being agreeable? I am, but this time I'm being agreeable with a purpose because I'm just trying to list things that people are going through at night. And they could be going through some short term or long term or short. They could be a short termer, Tomer, or that'd be a fan of Tommen. Torme, or a short-term fan. Maybe you're a short-term Mel Torme listener. New to Mel Torme, but I found I love him. I'm a short-tormer, or yeah, however you say it. It's like the spirit, it counts, right? Yeah. So whatever's keeping you awake, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of it so you could get the sleep you need and you deserve. Because you deserve a bedtime with a little bit less rigmarole, with a little bit less stress, where you get the rest you need so your life tomorrow is more manageable. In a place where you can feel connected, like how you got here, whatever's keeping you awake, and whatever you brought you here, I'm glad you're here, right? And so are a lot of other people that are listening. And they're hopeful this show will help you get the rest you need or make bedtime less of a hassle. So you just see how it goes. What I'll do is I'll send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'll use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, superfluous tangents. So I'll go off topic. I'm going to get mixed up, and then I'll forget what I was talking about. Then I'll interview some internal Mel Torme fan in my brain, which I'm not trying to say anything about Mel Torme. I don't know any. I can't say that I can name any Mel Torme songs. I will look it up before the end of the intro, though. And then we'll see how little I know. I probably know some Mel Torme songs. I can't recall them. So, I mean, it would be like, I can easily recall The Greatest Love of All. That's happening to me, but you seem to love Mel Torme. So, yeah, that's a pointless meander and a superfluous tangent. So it's all to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. And it does take some getting used to, because if you found your way to this show, you were probably trying to find something that would help you fall asleep right away, something that's going to reliably work for you. You're tired or frustrated, and you're skeptical. And why wouldn't you be skeptical, right? You've already tried a ton of stuff to fall asleep, and now you got somebody rambling off topic. That makes sense, and I really hope I can help you. What I'm going to do is, I already explained that. So, but most people get here, they have some expectation And this show's very different than what most people expect. So give it a few tries and see how it goes. If you already load the podcast and you're convinced, I would still say give it a try. But if you're pretty convinced you're never going to listen to it again, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you has a list of other sleep podcasts on there. So you can check those out and they can help you out and other sleepy stuff. But this is a podcast that you kind of just barely listen to. So give it a few tries, see how it goes. That's what most regular listeners said. It took a couple tries. Then I realized, this show's always going nowhere. I had no idea something like this even existed. Just like I had no idea there was a self-nicknamed Mel Torme fan somewhere in my subconscious. I mean, talk about breakthroughs of the mild variety. It's interesting. Somewhere out there, as Fievel said, there's somebody that calls himself a long-termer in my brain or within me, or maybe it's, I guess probably collective unconscious. You're right in this case, because I can't name a Mel Torme song. I think I can picture Mel Torme singing. So... Okay, so most people don't like this podcast. It takes a few tries to get used to. This is also a podcast you don't really listen to. You kind of barely listen to it. Like an out-of-focus picture or like something on in the other room. It just takes a little bit of, you'll see. Just give it a few tries. You'll be like, oh, okay. It's a podcast to keep you company and take your mind off stuff. I'm not here to put you to sleep, believe it or not. There's a reason the episodes are over an hour. There's no pressure to fall asleep with this show. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep. To be your friend in the deep, dark night. Your bore friend, your bore bae, your bore sib, your neighbor, your bore burr, your bore bud, your bore friend, your bores, your bore in charge, your bore loft. I've never used that one before, but... I mean, that kind of works. Your best boyfriend forever. To keep you company or to give you a break during the day or to be here when you wake up in the middle of the night, but to mildly distract you while you fall asleep, which is a little bit different than directly putting you to sleep, though there are people I put to sleep right away. So it's a podcast you don't really listen to. It doesn't really put you to sleep. Structurally, the show is different, and it is adjustable. So let me meet you where you are and explain that in case you're like on your second listen. You're like, I don't like the structure of the show. I'd say, well, you're in good company. There's a lot of people that don't. So let me explain it to you. And then you could kind of see what you want to do with that information or be reassured that the show's structured in a way that helps a lot of people just like you out. Show starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, so you feel seen and welcomed in. Then there's a long meandering, then there's support after the intro. So the paying for the show is optional. If you prefer something without the support, you can get that on Sleep With Me Plus. But most people like this ad-supported show, and they like to listen to it like in order. Because the next part after the sport is this intro that we're in the middle of. That's a long, meandering intro, a show within a show. Has nothing to do with the support. What it does is that I ineffectively explain what the podcast is. I get distracted by something. Then I go off topic about it. Then I try to return to the structure of the intro. So the intro is different every single time, but it follows a familiar structure. So it's kind of reassuring, but it's different every time. So whatever is keeping you awake can't quite adjust and can't point out, oh boy, now he's going to talk about Paul Anka. No, I'm not. I mean, and I guess now I am briefly, but I don't have time to now. But, there's that part. But the intro is like 15 or 20 minutes long to ease you into bedtime. It doesn't actually put many people to sleep. It helps create like a sleepy environment, in a sense. So you can listen in bed getting comfortable. You could be getting ready for bed. Or you could be winding down, chilling out, doing some chill activity, and then falling asleep during the story later on. So the intro eases you into bedtime. If you prefer something without an intro, There's a podcast in all podcast apps, free. Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me. That's just the story part of the show. It doesn't have this long intro. But most people like this intro because it's unpredictable, friendly banter to ease you into bedtime. Then there's support. Then tonight will be our series, Dreaming of Newhart, where we'll find out from Robert, I want to say Robert Langdon, but he's from another novel. He was a figure, like a symbol, like he was an expert in another piece of fiction. But we'll hear from a person who dreams every night they're a Vermont innkeeper. And, that'll be like about an hour plus all told. So I'm really glad you're here. Oh, I'll look up, wonder if I could spell Torme. But yeah, we work really hard on the show. We're really glad you're here. There's a bunch of people that work on this show. Really want to help you fall asleep. I appreciate you coming by. Let's see, Torme, T-O-R. So T-O-R-M-E? No. Torme. There's Torme. T-O-R-M-E. That's what, let's see if I put in Mel. Mel Torme. Mel Torme, artist. He's handsome. Okay. Let's see. This is Mel Torme. Jazz classics. I know some Mel Torme songs, but Home Alone, motion picture soundtrack. They can't take that away from me. I know that one. No. I must have hit the wrong button. I apologize. Putting on the Ritz, Happy Together. Okay, I know a lot of these songs. So, yeah, I know some of them. Which one was in Home Alone, though? Somewhere. No, that's not it. We're finding. Oh, Mel Torme, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. So that's a holiday song. So, yeah, there's Mel Torme and so there is an R. Tormen and Torme do both have R's in there. I had not known that. I mean, my brain didn't know that. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. I work really hard. I really hope this show can keep you company, put a mild smile on your face, and help you fall asleep. And here's a couple ways we're able to do it for you twice a week. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations. Everybody, Scoots here. We're here with, we're here. This is, I'm going to turn the episode over. And you're going to hear from two parties. This is a three-party show where a couple of characters that live within my mind recap an episode of Newhart, which the finale of the show said the whole show was a dream had by Robert Hartley, who was the main character in the Bob Newhart Show. And so we're taking this show and we're looking at it through that lens, through, of course, a fictional sleepy layer. So you're going to hear an imaginary version of Bob Hartley, Robert Hartley, or someone like that, with an interviewer, maybe a familiar style of interview you've heard on Sleep With Me before. And they will also consult with an AI assistant who's looking at Robert Hartley's dreams of being a Vermont innkeeper. And then we'll also go through one of the days in Robert Hartley's life. So I hope that all makes sense. And yeah, I'm going to turn things over to Bob and whoever. Oh, yeah, come on in. Good to see you again. And I know we've gone back and forth on me calling you Bob or Robert. Do you have a preference? And prefer not to be here. It's pretty close. Not quite there, but pretty close. Prefer not to be here at all, maybe? Oh, I'll take that silence as a yes. So why don't you said you had a dream, you set an appointment. Why don't you run through the dream? Okay, it was a seasonal dream. It was, again, this repetitive dream I keep having where I'm Dick Loudon, Vermont innkeeper, and the cast of characters that keep having these repetitive dreams. It is kind of, there's some things I look forward to in the dream and other things that like, that are, I've had enough of Kirk. Okay, and Kirk's your neighbor that runs the Minuteman Cafe and souvenir shop. Yeah, and then I have my dream wife, Joanne, and then Leslie, who works at the inn, though sometimes it's not, sometimes, just some of the characters change. Okay, so tell me about this dream. It's snowing in Vermont, and it's the season, the same season it is right now. It was a seasonal dream, in season. Well-seasoned? No, in season. In Joanne and Leslie, Joanne, my dream wife. Though I only say that my wife was in the dream. I mean, she's dreamy, but my real wife's dreamy too. So Joanne and Leslie are making cookies, and they're having a discussion about old-fashioned holidays, but not having an old-fashioned drink. And I thought that was, I said, okay, well. And then Kirk comes in, he's singing a parody song, kind of one that I didn't really like in the dream. I can't quite recall it, but I don't know. And then he takes some cookie dough, which in the dream, I mean, I guess it's still a thing. You say, you can't eat cookie dough, man. And Joanne tries to tell him, like, we haven't cooked those cookies. We're cooking cookies, but you just took the cookie dough. But doesn't never tell us the truth. And so he pretends he's going to eat it anyway. He'd already put it in his mouth. And then he says, oh, it's great. But then he spits it out. He pretends to, like, he tries to put on this ruse. And he's also talking about how he wants to have holidays with Leslie. But she's going home to spend time with her family. And then Kirk's not pleased with that. But he's more sad. And Joanne tries to say, okay, well, we're going to roast chestnuts and do other stuff. He says, well, I just smoke cigarettes. And he talks about indulging in vices like smoking and drinking style vices. George and I come in. We're having a discussion about going to Guy's Market, a new market, to get a tree. But first we were going to go out in the woods and look at idealized trees. And Kirk talks about cheap wine. Then we get a call from the Silverbirds Ski Club. There's 24 members of the Silverbirds Ski Club coming as guests over the holidays. The only other thing that happened, my wife, I said, did my mom send her fruitcake? And my wife said, yes. I said, did you throw it away? She said, yes. Then the next part of the dream is that we have got a tree. It's already in the inn in the main room. It's huge, like a 2-story tree. I mean, this was before that movie. Our tree is too big for the room. Well, I wouldn't say too big for the room, but it definitely fills the room. Kirk's still complaining about Christmas. My wife is like, that tree, we don't have enough decorations for a tree like that. Interesting contrast to my regular, I didn't realize there's like an opposite thing happening. Okay, you've never done this before, Bob. Go ahead. Well, in my regular life, I got a very small tree this year. Okay. So, anyway, she says, like, I don't know how are we going to decorate this tree. Then Kirk's kind of still upset about Leslie leaving. She's about to leave to the airport. George is going to drive her. Then the ski club shows up, and they say, holy cow, it's really snowing out there. We're glad we got here. Roads are closing down. And ends up at the airport. My wife calls the airport. The airport's closed, so Leslie can't go. So Kirk's happy. Then I remember, like, giving out keys to the guests, and the guests, like, wasn't clear. Everybody wanted their own room. But then, I don't know, there's just, like, this interesting thing. Then Kirk's, like, singing. He's very happy because he gets, like, I get to spend time with Leslie. Still snowing. Then there's like a sweater party, like before, or in the dream, I guess it wasn't, but why do I keep saying that? I guess even in the dream, I was thinking this was a new thing, but it was like, this was an inadvertent bad sweater party. And we're trying to figure out decorating the tree. All the guests are very unhappy because there's nothing to do. There's no TVs in the rooms. And they can't go skiing. And then I'm again, like, kind of in my dreams, I'm trying to get everybody to be positive. It'll work out. I'm trying to cheer everybody up. Then it's Christmas Eve. Maybe this was already, I can't remember. But Leslie's talking about still being with family. Then George and I have a discussion, or it comes up that George does actually, like, he's a loner, and he says, thanks, this is reminding me of that, and he says stuff that kind of, it wasn't very sleepy, like, yeah, this is just me in the world, have no familial relations, and then we say, no, you're part of our family, and then he says, can I have a hug? Do you love me? I say, well, I like you a lot, kind of. You're great. Then we hug. Then we're all in the living or the main room again. And this guy comes in. He says, hey, is there any, like, rooms? Like, me and my wife are in the car. I got her in the car. And I say, there's no rooms at this inn right now. And he says, my wife's pregnant. My name's Joe. And she has a red beret on. And I say, did I just say no room at the inn? And he says, well, she's not due for 2 weeks. And I say, why don't you take our room on behalf of innkeepers everywhere? I thought that was pretty funny in the dream. That's pretty funny, huh? Yeah. Okay, then what else happens? I said, what are you going to name the baby? Or someone asks. He says, Abraham, Isaiah, or if it's a girl, Tammy. So I thought that was weird because it was like biblical and then like kind of like a country music name for my just what I'm thinking. Then the guests from the ski club are disappointed because there's going to be no skiing tomorrow either. So Kirk tries to actually pick up the thing. He says, first he tells a story about Nova Scotia. I don't think it made any sense at all, but I can't even remember. And then we have a tree trimming party. Kirk goes and gets stuff from his store, which was not traditional tree trimming things like plastic turtles and Krabby Krabs toys and pen lights, like souvenirs, like from like JUNK. And I said, go get your JUNK. And we also weren't planning on serving dinner to the guests of the hotel because we thought they'd be on their own. But Joanne and I were going to have a holiday ham. And she says, well, if we have to serve dinner for everybody, the only thing we can make is ham omelets. So I've been disappointed because I'm going to lose my my ham. I want baked ham. I even said, I wrote it here. But then, again, the pregnant couple gets me. They say, hey, can we eat some dinner here? Joanne made 7 dozen egg omelets. Then, I guess, this was like the stuff with George. He also was listening to Christmas music alone when I told him we were family. Then the guests are playing solitaire. And, yeah, the decoration's going good. Also postcards we put on the tree too. Pen lights for tree lights. Then Joe comes down. He says, my wife, is ready. And I say, you just checked in. And he goes, yeah, but we're ready now. I thought it was 2 weeks ago. And I say to my wife, what is we going to do? And she says, well, you take charge, honey. You could do it. And I say, I didn't say, is there a doctor in the house? But I said something similar. And here's how you know it's a dream. Everybody raised their hand. And I say, I'm sorry, what? And they say, yeah, we're a ski club of physicians, a doctor ski club. And they're so happy because they have something to do. So they're like, oh, great, let's, so they all go up to help. Then I can't remember if it was 4 in the afternoon or 4 in the morning, but we're eating omelets. Kirk's doing one simple magic trick for George over and over again with the 10 clubs. Then it was Tammy, and they say thanks for help, and the 24 attending doctors. And they say, okay. Then we look at the tree in the dark, and it looks pretty good with the pen lights. It looks pretty. Kirk sings his song and keeps going doing his magic trick. Me and my wife exchange gifts. She gives me a slice of ham that she saved for me. I don't know, yeah. And then I gave her diamond earrings. And then somebody else comes in. He says, my car's stuck in the snow. Can you call somebody? I say, yeah, sure, we could call. I know who to call. Got a tow truck we could call. And I say, what's your name? He says, Alan Wiseman. And I have my 2 brothers. And I said, you're a Wiseman? In my head. I didn't say it to his face, but I thought it was ironic. But then, I woke up after that. Okay, that's interesting. I guess I'll have my assistant look up some of those dreams. I've also been trying to have my assistant think about, predict what your dreams were. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, but I just wanted to try it. I don't know if we'll get to it in our session today. I don't think I like that. Your assistant's made of artificial intelligence, right? Yeah, but you, like you said, aren't you kind of you're finding this whole thing tiresome? I'm trying to find a way outside the box to help. I don't think that'll help. Okay, well, I already did it. I think once I tell it to do stuff, it just does it. Okay, could you tell it not to do it? I could, but it's really interesting because it did I did tell it you were coming in. Okay. Okay, so do you want to go over your dreams now and then we'll go over your week? Sure. You want me to go over the dream my assistant had? Not really. Well, it's I'll just go over it because I have it right here in front of me. Okay, can you quickly go through it? Sure. So instead of, my assistant said if they dreamed, it would have been that you, as Dick, Joanne, and George are waiting for a guest, a travel writer. And so this is based on, I think, a famous idea. And then it's a blizzard, but more and more people come in the storm. All the roads are closed. Okay. And then the inn is at capacity, but the travel writer's not there. And the review will, just like these stories go, will help you. And you realize you're gonna have to save the room for the reviewer. Then someone comes, but they're eccentric, and and you have to, they want a room no matter what. Then more and more people start showing up, and then people are sleeping everywhere and not getting along. Then the person arrives, and they're in a bad mood, and then you don't want a bad review. This is an interesting dream. Is it putting you to sleep? Well, yeah. And then the reviewer, in this dream, there's a honeymoon suite, and the eccentric people were newlyweds, so they're staying in the suite. Didn't this happen in one of my dreams? I think we discussed it offline, though, when I was first interviewing you. Yeah, I had a dream with two eccentric people, but that wouldn't leave the inn. Okay, well, maybe my assistant was listening. So then you try to get them out, and then everybody comes together. Everybody's happy. You get a positive review because of the sense of community during the storm. And then there's more snow. Okay, great. Okay, let's get into your dreams, though, right? I was also having my assistant try to draw pictures based on your dreams, but can't say that they're doing the best job. What, really? Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's look at the first part of a dream. Sometimes my assistant gets mixed up, too. So cookie making, Freud may see this as nurturing, comfort, familial warmth, longing for simpler times or childhood memories, Kirk eating the raw dough, indulgence, impulsivity, his not telling the truth might reflect a facade or superficiality. So maybe this authenticity thing keeps coming up, especially in social occasions. Jungian, old-fashioned discussion, archetype, tradition, maybe some connection to collective cultural memories, or a return to foundational comforting decisions. Kirk's behavior, parody songs, and the untruth about the cookie dough, trickster archetype maybe. Old Will Ferrell's coming in again, but he's not like Will Ferrell. Okay, thank you, though. And remember, never mind. You're right. I should just move on. Yeah, you better move on. So challenging norms, bringing to light discrepancies, maybe in the modern group dynamics, social dynamics, maybe, behaving differently, masking true feelings to maintain harmony or humor. Could be about the singing and the cookies, could be his coping mechanisms and a playful escape. This one, my assistant had right. Virgo sun, your detail-oriented nature, you want order, even in casual settings. Yeah, I do like that. And Virgos are ruled by Mercury, governs communication, so you might not like that. And then, right now, because we don't have an official result on your Enneagram, like I've been asking my assistant, this is the first time, I think, successfully. You're a focus on efficiency and image, type 3 achiever, idealized picture-perfect setting with your ham. I mean, that makes sense, And you maybe find Kirk irritating or humorous depending on your mood. Outside the box, maybe it's a cultural commentary on commercialization versus authentic experiences. Or it could be some sort of symbolism on consciousness about consumption versus indulgence. Also, quantum mechanics perspective. This is a long one. Wow. Okay. We got two long ones. Superposition of traditions and modernity. Multiple states exist simultaneously until observed. Maybe the new modern element, like the parody song with the cookie making, which is older fashioned. maybe represent traditional and modern elements in your personal life, a juxtaposition that, maybe different traditions and modern adaptations can coexist, influencing your perception. Kirk not being honest, maybe the collapse of a superimposed state into a definite outcome. Superposed, not imposed. Unpredictable resolution of conflicts. Alchemy of social interactions. Base into a noble. Maybe your dream is an alchemical process for social interactions. As a cookie making, Kirk might symbolize chaos or and some other thing putting into the reaction, which requires reacidification or rebalancing. Social dynamics are ongoing transformations. Okay. Let's get into this. Kirk being not happy about Leslie, then wanting to go to the tree. So Kirk's coping mechanisms and not being happy, I don't know, unrequited feelings, unmet emotional needs from Freud. Going to the woods, maybe getting more primal or natural. Maybe looking for some authenticity. Jung might say Kirk is a manifesting shadow self. So I don't know if that's your shadow self. And the walk in the woods might be a journey into the collective unconscious to find balance. The arrival of the ski club could be an influx of new energy, according to, my assistant's analysis of Freud. And external pressures are new social dynamics. Maybe social support or coping, social plans on your thing. Maybe quantum again. If in the quantum lens, superposition, simultaneously ready to engage in downhill and accepting invitation to connect with nature and friends. Maybe this will change the probabilities into a more positive outcome. But eco-psychology, maybe the invitation to walk in the woods could be immersion in nature therapeutic response to turmoil. Astrological. Now, if Kirk's a Scorpio, which we don't know, it could be related to that emotional nature. But walk in the woods could be Taurus or Virgo, grounding activity. And man, my assistant is taking some liberties here. Maybe Kirk's a type 4 Enneagram individualist, sensitivity, intense emotionally, dramatic declarations, and tends to do non-positive things as a reaction sometimes. Sounds like somebody would make a sleep podcast. It definitely does, for sure. Type 4, huh? Yeah, we can't confirm that. I don't think any sleep podcaster want to be confirmed compared to Kirk. Kirk's tall and somewhat handsome. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, Bob and George, that may be a type 9 move. Maybe you have different enneagrams in your dream. Peacemaker, you sometimes act that way. Maybe you're trying to maintain peace and harmony. Anthropomorphic representation of emotions. What if your dream is an emotional landscape as a living forest? And the forest is different emotions. Each aspect of the forest walk, is a different thing. Maybe paying more attention to your next dream, what happens there. Might be interesting. Okay, that's good. I like that. The historical or cultural thing, maybe there's some sort of purification going on. Maybe Kirk has to do, is creating upheaval, and then returning to the woods is balancing it back out. Okay, then the throwing out of the fruitcake. Freud might see this as rejecting family traditions that you find unpalatable or burdensome, and maybe it has to do with some underlying thing in your daytime life. Jungian fruitcake might be a symbol of the collective family shadow, traditions that are carried on despite not being beneficial or meaningful. So maybe it's about your search for meaning somehow. I'm searching for meaning right now. It doesn't seem like maybe you're just passively lost. I guess we both could laugh at that. Emotional release, maybe some sort of relief since you were happy when she threw it away. Maybe it's about boundary setting or obligations. Could it be an influence from a zodiac sign? If you're Virgo, which I forgot what you are, so do I, but I know you originally knew. I could scroll back and find out here. You're a Virgo sun sign, yeah. Virgo sun with Mercury, something or other. Thanks for paying. So what's my assistance? You're right. I could be more professional, but I am an imaginary helper. And so, yeah, I wish I had less imagination then. Okay, so let's get back to that. Where were we? Fruitcake. Oh, literary. Zodiac, Virgo. What is useful or beneficial, including traditions? Throwing out the fruitcake could align with the tendency to discard things. Then there's a Jupiter's influence, maybe Saturn's constraints. And again, maybe type 9 Enneagram here. If your Enneagram's type 9, maybe you want to avoid things, but you get internal satisfaction when peace, even symbolically through throwing out the fruitcake, aligns with you. You avoided a direct confrontation and preserved your inner harmony. Could be cultural symbolism. It might be a sign of holiday excess or commercialization that you're throwing away in your critique of it. Well, I did get a small tree. Okay. Fruitcake in literature, maybe it's a literary metaphor. What if the fruitcake, my assistant, is, imagine if the fruitcake was a character in a story representing the story of the fruitcake, old outdated narratives. Its removal could symbolize the end of the narrative arc, making its way for new stories and traditions. Wow, that's interesting stuff. Okay, what else do we need to know? I did have some images, which I could tell you about. Can we just move on? You tell me about the images later, another time. Okay, so yeah, let's move on to the tree, and then the stuff around the tree. Freudian oversized tree. Maybe oversized symbol of aspirations or desires. Maybe they're overwhelming or unmanageable. Maybe you feel unprepared or inadequate in realizing these aspirations because you didn't have enough decorations. But the improvisation with toy crabs, turtles, and pen lights might suggest unconventional methods or resources to fulfill these ambitions. This is some positive stuff. What if the tree in Jungian is a self-symbol, growing larger and more complex than you feel equipped to handle? Do you feel like you're changing? I feel like what happens if you change it backwards, like during recording of an interview? Regress. That's called regressing. I feel like more like I'm decaying when I talk to you. Thanks. It's a very powerful word. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not about, I'm about to do, like I do, regressing, maybe not. Okay. So you feel like your tree's getting smaller. In your dream, the tree's getting larger and more complex. And maybe putting unusual items on it could integrate your aspects of your personality, or even external resources like your friends. And a successful decoration of the tree could reflect integration on different life aspects and personal growth. Maybe it's about resourcefulness or adaptability, collaboration and community support. There could be some sort of Capricorn influence because the challenges could resonate with Capricorn's traits of determination, practicality, and creativity in overcoming obstacles. Or, your Enneagram, or one of them we're thinking is type 3, which is appearance and success. The transformation of the tree to bear to beautifully decorated might reflect your desire to achieve and be admired. There's also the ecological, using your recycling, so that's good. Quantum creativity. Have you ever thought of yourself as quantumly creative? Wouldn't I not know? Wouldn't that be happening at a level I'm unaware of? I guess you got me. But imagine if the tree's decorations fluctuated based on observer expectations, a nod to quantum theory where observation affects reality. This could symbolize the idea that our perceptions and expectations can alter our sense of achievement and satisfaction. Could be a mythical integration, drawing from mythology. The tree could be seen as a tree from Norse mythology. And the decoration, different worlds or aspects of life. Could be narrative therapy technique. I'm not familiar with that, but if your tree was a character in a story you're writing about your life, decorating it would be revising your life's narrative to highlight creativity and positivity and transforming perceived challenges into strengths. Okay, great. Okay, the next part, we're going to talk kind of like everything at the end. No room at the end. Freud would say your refusal, but then a subsequent offer is, conflicting feelings about hospitality, responsibility, or change. But a birth event could be a new beginning. This is kind of like reading like something I'd get out of a theme park machine. Well, maybe a theme park machine and my assistant are, integrated. Freud might also interpret this as a manifestation of latent desires for nurturing or related to caregiving and responsibility. Jungian, my assistant boy, said this is a pretty archetypal scenario that you are aware of. Reminiscent of the nativity story that has themes of redemption, hope, and divine intervention. Now, Jung would focus on the symbolic meanings, but they could be transformation or rebirth in your psyche. I don't know if I need anything clogging my psyche or transforming in. Could be the collective unconscious. The ski members assisting is the collective unconscious at work providing support and wisdom where needed to overcome adversity. It could be community and support, handling stress and adversity. Might be Capricorn and surprises. If relevant, Capricorn trait of practical problem solving is highlighted here. Could be Pisces and compassion. Piscean qualities, empathy and selflessness. Maybe you're getting a little type 2 Enneagram going. Caring, supporting others, broader help with guests. Maybe quantum mechanics, multiverse of choices. What if you refuse and then you offer help? And maybe those are two different timelines in the multiverse. And you're trying to each dream, maybe you had another dream where you explored the other outcome. Maybe it's an allegory, a modern nativity story, fresh perspective on old stories. Or it could be symbolic. Maybe the inn itself is someplace, it is like a place, a safe harbor for your dreams, Oh, you're right about that. And the fact that everybody was there in the snow and some newness was brought in, maybe that represents renewal and hope despite the bad weather outside. Maybe it's about coming together, that everybody came together and the heroic role that everybody played. Okay. All right, let's run through your day. How about that, huh? Can't wait. You really can't wait? No, I could wait forever, but, okay, so why don't you tell me about your week? All right, well, so my week was like, it was a holiday week at work and at home. And like I said, I got home and I had a very small tree. And it was real. It was very small and it was difficult to acquire because I waited till the last minute. And Emily was not pleased about it because she said, I was hoping for a real tree. And I guess I could have communicated better, but, yeah. And then Howard shows up. Also, I did some window walking in the snow. But anyway, so I come in with this tree. Emily's like, it's like straight out of Charlie Brown. And I said, well, I guess it is straight out of the Charlie Brown thing. And she goes, like, kind of like, where's the real tree? What are you kidding me? Okay, then Howard shows up, and we have this discussion about we're scaling down for the holidays. And when I say, aren't you going to open up the gift we just gave you? And Howard's like, no, because if I don't like it, I won't be able to hide my feelings. Then we're having pancakes, and we're like, well, you want to join us for pancakes? And he says, yeah. And then the guy, he takes 7 pancakes, this Howard man. I mean, I realize we're friends and everything. And I mean, I guess maybe that was in the dream somewhere, but it was like, I mean, maybe Kirk and Howard are related. Cause I was like, dude, like even Emily says, is that enough? He says, for now. I see, who eats 7 pancakes, especially when you're a guest? You got to make sure everybody else has 2 at least. And I was working a half day, so then I got to go to work. I had to be at work at noon, so we're kind of having brunch. And I had one appointment, and it's just going to be me and Emily for Christmas Eve, because we're like just kind of celebrating, we celebrate it as a seasonal holiday, you know. We don't have any specific belief-based way to celebrate it. So I say, she says, okay, dinner's going to be at 6. And I say, okay, I got to bring the gifts into the office. And then Howard's a pilot, right? So then he wants to know all about office parties. And I give him a play-by-play because our office party gets, like, so we have this, like, shared, it's almost like a co-working type situation with multiple floors, and the party kind of gets like just each, it starts off slow, and then each year, I don't know, we have it loose because none of us, there's very few employee-employer relationships, so because of that, you could have a little bit looser of a holiday party because it's more like we're colleagues that rent the same space. And so I think it's a little bit more loose because it's not like, Carol's there that works for me. She also works for other people, though. So whatever, it can get, so then I get into the office and I'm going to have a cup of coffee and I taste it and I say, what's up with this coffee? And Carol goes, oh, yeah, we already made it into Irish coffee. And they say, what's in the water cooler? She says, I think margaritas. So the party was still already in full swing. Then I give Carol her gift, and she opens it. She says, oh boy, a bun warmer. Really what I've been looking for. And not your buns, like your baked buns. I mean, I guess if you had a bun haircut, like you could warm your bun, but not to warm your buns, which kind of makes sense, especially the way this day went and the week, 2 days. Okay, then the party's on. So it's really windy outside, by the way, when I was coming in. Jerry's like dressed as Santa, and he's already having fun. I give him his gift. I gave him ski mittens and goggles, and he's really happy about it. He's a really grateful person, even though sometimes I get a little bit short with him or Howard. I guess those are my two closest friends. I don't know what this has to do with the dream, but he's very grateful. And then he gives me a really nice record player as a gift, like for old vinyl records. And I said, I thought we were giving small gifts, but he's so thoughtful. And he's like one of those people likes giving gifts. Then Mr. Peterson comes. So this is going to be, again, where we have a professional discussion. I'm going to actually have to leave out some stuff. But my client, Mr. Peterson, comes. And we talk about... he doesn't like... I worked with him about geese and upholstery and a couple other things that he had an aversion to, right? And I really felt like he was ready to fly like a free bird. So I said, hey, I don't think there's any reason for us to meet after today. And he says, well, like I said, we don't even need to meet for a full session. It really wasn't about the party. I mean, maybe now I'm wondering if it was. It's like, because I'm not a partier anyway, I was going to go home. But it was like, we don't need to, we can end this client, this relationship. I think it's time. And it's just the way I practice my practice. I'm not looking for feedback on it. And I said, why don't you go do some holiday shopping? And I opened the door and like Jerry and Steve are putting up mistletoe. They're goofing around. And then I go home and I get home. And my wife's got the candles going. And I'm like, all right, man, we're going to have a nice, calm, romantic rest of the holidays, right? And probably, go to bed early, but not go to sleep. So I'm really happy. And then she says she's cooked up something really nice. She says, what do you want to drink? I said, hot buttered rum. She goes, oh, I don't have anything like that. She goes, well, how are the elevator because people they have like elevator races where they get on each elevator even. And then the phone rings and it's Carol. And at first she was having a good time. So I thought she was just calling me to, talk about how good the party was going. Because she said she has a waste paper basket on her head. But she said, Mr. Peterson wants to meet with you. He said, between the geese and the upholstery, he's got to talk. And again, I had this thing with Emily, which is a recurring thing of like me putting my clients first. And maybe needing to work on my boundaries, professional and personal boundaries. And maybe, so I admit all that the dreams may be tied to that and not making the best choices. Or maybe I could have made different choices if it was quantum, whatever the heck that is. I mean, maybe I'm on Mercury somewhere, some version of me. But, I guess looking back, maybe I should maybe that was the wrong day to do that. And so it complicated things twice, but I had to go back to the office. And she does say, this happens every holidays, anniversaries, birthdays. I'm really disappointed and upset. So I say, get it. So then I go back to the office. It's really snowing and the power's going in and out. I go in my office and Mr. Peterson's in there listening to records. And he says, I want to be your client again. And he talked about going shopping and his wife Doris. And he says, I don't want to stop working together. I'm not ready. And then it was kind of funny because I said, okay, well, I can't make you stop our sessions together. I was just making as a strong suggestion. And he says, well, then you're saying I'm not well adjusted. I'm not normal after all. I thought that was really powerful statements that he said to me, and I appreciated it. And he said, you've made me the happiest client right now. Okay, then we go back out of my office. It's 8:15 p.m. The power keeps coming on and off. And I said, don't worry, Mr. Pearson, I'll drive you home. And but the elevators aren't working. And they say, no, the roads are closed. Everybody's got to stay here. Then Jerry has like a Jerry Robinson trio. They sing these carols, like holiday carols. They're really good. And then Emily's at home alone. And I call her. She's not happy at all. She says, geez, I wish you were here. Meanwhile, the power's out, so I had my coat and my hat on in my office. And then the phone goes out again. Now, eventually what happens is, I explain it kind of like I wrote it. Eventually I get home, and I'm totally wiped. And Emily's asleep on the couch. I'm like I've been walking outside, lost my hat. And she says, what happened? I said, well, then I had a candle. Then I found a flashlight. Then I got in my car with Mr. Peterson to drive him home. Then the car got stuck. I put Mr. Peterson in a cab. Then I walked back to the office to jumpstart my car because the battery was no good anymore. Then I go back to my car. It's gone. It had gotten towed. Then I get another cab. That person's on their way home because it's late Christmas Eve, Christmas morning. So then he says, I'll drop you off. You could get out of my house and walk. So then I walked home 4 miles from his house. So I say, Emily, I just want a hot shower. She says, better late than never. Then we can get in bed and snuggle up. And I say, sounds great. Then Howard comes in with champagne. And he says, yeah, man, like I got some champagne. I'm home for the holidays. Meanwhile, I say, I can't have any guests. I think he knocked at the door first. I said, Emily, I just want to be alone with you. And so we're going to have to tell Howard no. So now I'm ready to say no, right? All my mistakes of asserting my boundaries had not, I'd chosen, not made that choice. So then, but then Howard says, by the way, I can't stay. I've got a holiday guest. People I work with are over, so I got to go. So then Emily and I opened gifts. She already knew, she'd already opened my gift and then rewrapped it. So I'd given her something nice. And she's going to give me my gift. She's very excited. We talk about love. And she, I guess, was still talking to me about how much she loved me, but I fell asleep on the couch. And that's my holiday. Wow, so that sounds pretty nice. You're sound asleep on the couch for the holidays. It's a nice place to be sound asleep, especially, whether you're just there solo or you're with the one you love. But it sounds like you're growing to love yourself, Bob. You could, you are the one you love. I mean, I guess if everything in my dream is me, but I still have some, I'm glad we're meeting. Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night, Bob. All right, but this is Scoots here with a Talk You In message from Helix Sleep. Last night I slept in a hotel bed. Right now I'm still in the room. I'm looking at the bed. I'm not trying to, it's nothing personal against the bed. It was a nice mattress, but it's just not my Helix Dusk Luxe. And the reason I love my Helix Dusk Luxe is because I took the Helix quiz first, and I talked about how I sleep and how I like to feel when I'm asleep, which is I sleep on my side, I sleep on my stomach. I don't want to feel hot or stuffy, and I got matched with the Helix Dusk. I picked the Dusk Luxe. This mattress, it was just here in the room. It's a perfectly nice, we've had some good conversations, but my Helix Dusk Luxe has been my long-term partner, and I'm longing to get home. and get back in my own bed. Now, maybe the Helix Dusk is the right mattress for you, but maybe it's one of their many other models. But this holiday season, you could be giving yourself the gift of good sleep well into the future. Think about it, year after year, getting into a bed that fits your needs, how you like to sleep, your sleep and feel preferences, not somebody else's. So what you do is you just take a couple minutes, you take that quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep. I think I don't know if I said it clearly because I didn't sleep great last night. Tonight, I didn't sleep good. And again, the bed's right here. I'm not sure I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I think the bed is thinking about taking the Helix Sleep quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep. But it gets even better because right now, for the holiday season, Helix has got a deal that I've never seen anything like this. The offer is 27% off site-wide plus 2 free Dream pillows with any mattress purchase. So it's 27% off site-wide, and any mattress purchase comes with 2 free Dream pillows. But they also have a free bedding bundle, which includes 2 Dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. And that's only if you go to helixsleep.com/sleep. You support the podcast that puts you to sleep, and you support your good sleep. What a gift. So take that quiz, helixsleep.com/sleep. Let me know what mattress you get matched with. Let me know which mattress you picked out. And, I'm going to get off this recording now. I'm going to apologize to the mattress I slept in last night and say, hey, yeah, it just didn't work out. But don't worry, I got a lovely mattress at home waiting for me to return. All right, good night, everybody.